Jai Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Prirajakcharya Ashtadara Satta Shri Shrima. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Prirajakcharya Ashtadara Satta Shri Shrima. His Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sekha Ho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gaur Gopinam Shama Kung Radha Kung Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Jagnapuri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Chamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Transcendental Prasada Distribution Ki Jai. Hare Rama Sankirtan Ki Jai. ISKCON Youth Gadam Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Pramanandi Haribo Haribo. All glories to the Sambodhi Bodhis Hare Krishna. All glories to the Sambodhi Bodhis Hare Krishna. All glories to the Sambodhi Bodhis Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswatim Vyasam Tattvajayam Uditayet Nasta Prayeshu Abhadrishu Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya Bhagavati Vamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 9, and text number 8. Divyam Sahasrabdam Amoga Dashano Chitani Latma Vichito Bayendriya Atapyata Smakila Loka Tapanam Tapas Tapiyams Tapatam Samahita Divyam Sahasrabda Amoga Dashano Chitani Latma Vichito Bayendriya Atapyata Smakila Lokatapanam Tapastapyams Tapatam Samahita Divyam Sahasradam Amogat Dashano Chitani Latma Vichito Bayendriya Atapyata Smakila Lokatapanam Tapastapyams Tapatam Samahita Divyam Sahasram Labdam Amogadashano Chitani Latma Vichito Bayendriya Atopyata smakidat lokatapanam. Tapas tapiyam stapatam samahita. Tapastapiyam tapatam samahitam. Divyam sahasram madhuvadhanam. Chitani natma vichito vayendriyam. Mataji's. Divyam, pertaining to the demigods in the higher pranits. Sahasra, 1,000. Aptam, years. Amoga, spotless, without a tinge of impurity. Darshana, one who has such a vision of life. Jita, controlled. Anila, life. Atma, mind. Vichita, controlled over. Ubaya, both. Indriyaha, one who has such senses. Atapyata, executed penance. Sma, in the past. Akila, all. Loka, pranit. Tapanam, enlightening. Tapaha, penance. Tapiyam, extremely hard penance. Tapatam, of all the executors of penances. Samahita, thus situated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Lord Brahma underwent penances for 1,000 years by the calculation of the demigods. He heard this transcendental vibration from the sky, and he accepted it as divine. Thus, he controlled his mind and senses, and the penances he executed were a great lesson for the living entities. Thus, he is known as the greatest of all ascetics. Purport: Lord Brahma heard the occult sound tapa, but he did not see the person who vibrated the sound. And still he accepted the instruction as beneficial for him. And therefore he engaged himself in meditation for 1,000 celestial years. 1 celestial year is equal to 6 times 30 times 12 times 1,000 of our years. So that's 2,160,000 years. So that's 1 celestial year. His acceptance of the sound was due to his pure vision of the absolute nature of the Lord. And due to his correct vision, he made no distinction between the Lord and the Lord's instruction. There is no difference between the Lord and sound vibration coming from him, even though he is not personally present. The best way of understanding is to accept such divine instruction. And Brahma, the prime spiritual master of everyone, is the living example for this process of receiving transcendental knowledge. The potency of transcendental sound is never minimized because the vibrator is apparently absent. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or any revealed scripture in the world is never to be accepted as an ordinary mundane sound without transcendental potency. One has to receive the transcendental sound from the right source, accept it as a reality, and prosecute the direction without hesitation. The secret of success is to receive the sound from the right source of a bona fide spiritual master. Mundane manufactured sound has no potency, and as such, seemingly transcendental sound received from an unauthorized person also has no potency. One should be qualified enough to discern such transcendental potency, and either by discriminating or by fortunate chance, if one is able to receive the transcendental sound from the bona fide spiritual master, his path of liberation is guaranteed. The disciple, however, must be ready to execute the order of the bona fide spiritual master, as Lord Brahma executed the instruction of his spiritual master, the Lord himself. Following the order of the bona fide spiritual master is the only duty of the disciple. And this completely faithful execution of the order of the bona fide spiritual master is the secret of success. Lord Brahma controlled his two grades of senses by means of sense perception and sense organs because he had to engage such senses in the execution of the order of the Lord. Therefore, controlling the senses means engaging them in the transcendental service of the Lord. The Lord's order descends in disciplic succession through the bona fide spiritual master, and thus execution of the order of the bona fide spiritual master is factual control of the senses. Such execution of penance in full faith and sincerity made Brahmaji so powerful that he became the creator of the universe. And because he was able to attain such power, he is called the best amongst all the tapasvis. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Uminitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopishtan Stapidan Yena Pudare Swayam Rupakada Mahyan Tadati Swam Padandikam. Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamanam Shri Gurung Vaishnavamscha. Shri Rupam Sakrachatam Sahagana Lakunata Vitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savatuta Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam. Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinna Bandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kamta Radha Kanta Namastute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishvari Rishabhanu Sudhe Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchakau Patarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishvanebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasade Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Divyang Sahasrabdam Amoga Dashano Chitani Natma Vichito Vayendriya Atapyata Smakila Loka Tapanam Tapas Tapiyams Tapatam Samahita. Translation again. Lord Brahma underwent penances for 1,000 years by the calculation of the demigods. He heard this transcendental vibration from the sky, and he accepted it as divine. Thus, he controlled his mind and senses. And the penances he executed were a great lesson for the living entity. Thus, he is known as the greatest of all ascetics. Srila Prabhupada, he wrote a very beautiful commentary in the purport, like usual. Especially in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he was stressing that following the order of the bona fide spiritual master is the only duty of the disciple. And this completely faithful execution of the order of the bona fide spiritual master is the secret of success. Yeah. So it reminds me the story of Dhruva Maharaj in the fourth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we all know that Dhruva Maharaj is the son of a great emperor, Uttanapa. Yeah. And one day, but his father Uttanapa has two queens. One is Suruchi and another is Suniti. However, Dhruva Maharaj's mother, Suruchi, she was not a favorite, wife of his father. So one day, when he saw his brother was sitting on the lap of the father, so he also wanted to go and sit on the lap of the father. But just as he wanted to sit, climb up to the lap of the father, his stepmother, Suruchi, immediately stopped her. Huh? Sunit. Yeah, Suniti is his real mother. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I remember Suniti is his real mother. Anyway, so his stepmother immediately stopped her and saying that you are not qualified to sit on the lap of your father. In order to sit on the lap of your father, you have to take birth from my womb. And when Joa Maharaj heard words like that, that's really piercing his heart like an arrow. He was really, really disturbed. You know, it reminds me in China, we were saying that 良言一句三冬暖，物语伤人六月寒. That means a sweet words will warm one up, even it's extremely cold winter time. But the harsh words will make one cold, even it is hottest summer season. So Joa Maharaj's stepmother words, it's like that, you know. Yeah. So his heart is really pierced like a sharpened arrow. So he immediately left the palace, and his father, you know, sitting on the throne, was doing nothing. Yeah, no protection of him. So he became really disturbed. So he immediately left the palace and went to see his own mother. So his own mother wants to pacify him and told him, no one can help you except the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if you want to take revenge of this situation, you have to go and worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Joa Maharaj asked his mother, where can I find the Supreme Lord Krishna? And his mother told him that usually the Supreme Lord will be in the forest with the sages. And upon hearing the instruction of his mother, so Joa Maharaj immediately left home. So he went to the forest, tried to look for Krishna. He's only 5 years old. Yeah, even smaller than Abai. How old are you now, Abai? 6. Abai is 6 now. So Joa Maharaj is smaller than Abai. So he immediately left his mother's home and went to the forest looking for the Supreme Lord. So on the way, luckily on the way, he met great saintly person, Narada Muni. So Narada Muni gave him instructions. First of all, actually, Narada Muni tried to test Joa Maharaj's determination by saying, you are just a small boar. You know, there are so many tigers, lions, ferocious animals in the forest. You know, you should just go back home and come back again, you know, but after you've grown up. Narada Muni was, you know, tried to test him like that. But Joa Maharaj was very determined. So he told Narada Muni, if you want to help me, then you give me some instructions, some way how I can find the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, you should not block my way. So seeing Joa Maharaj is so determined, so Narada Muni gave him instructions. Yeah, how to worship the Supreme Lord. Yeah. So Narada Muni instruct Joa Maharaj to go to Vrindavan and perform devotional service at the Madhuvan forest. So let's read a little bit from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto. Let's see what did Joa Maharaj do at the Madhuvan forest. So Joa Maharaj, having arrived at Madhuvan, took his bath in the river Yamuna and observed fasting in the night with great care and attention. After that, as advised by the great sage Narada, he engaged himself in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So let's see how he worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the first month, Dhruva Maharaj ate only fruits and berries on every third day, only to keep his body and soul together. And in this way, he progressed in his worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the first month. He ate only fruit and berries on every third day. I think, none of us can do that. We actually hope that every day there will be a nice feast. Yeah. But Dhruva Maharaj, he ate only fruits and berries every 3 days, and not even every day. And in the second month, Dhruva Maharaj ate only every 6 days, and for his eatables, he took dry grass and leaves, and thus he continued his worship. So this is the second month. And the third month, in the third month, he drank water only every 9 days. Thus he remained completely in trance and worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is adored by selected verses. Yeah. And then, in the fourth month, Dhruva Maharaj became a complete master of the breathing exercise. And thus he inhaled air only every 12 days. So he completely stopped drinking water also. What to speak of the solid food, So he inhaled air only every 12 days. And in this way, he became completely fixed in his position and worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then we all know that because of the austerity Dhruva Maharaj was practicing, the whole universe became suffocated. And then the demigods came to Lord Vishnu, asked Lord Vishnu to help to solve this situation. And then Lord Vishnu told them that you should not worry. It's my devotee, Dhruva Maharaj. He is practicing austerity there in Vrindavan. I will go there soon to pacify him. So Lord Krishna personally came and see Dhruva Maharaj at the Madhuvan forest. Yeah, because of Dhruva Maharaj's devotion, you see. Yeah. It's a perfect example following the instructions of the spiritual master. Actually, Srila Prabhupada, he wrote a very beautiful purport in this regard. In the purport to text 71, Prabhupada, he said, the significance of this particular verse is that Dhruva Maharaj acted exactly according to the advice of his spiritual master, the great sage Narada. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti also advises that if we want to be successful in our attempt to go back to Godhead, we must very seriously act according to the instruction of the spiritual master. That is the way of perfection. There's no need, be no anxiety over attaining perfection, because if one follows the instruction given by the spiritual master, he is sure to attain perfection. Our only concern should be how to execute the order of the spiritual master. A spiritual master is expert in giving spiritual instructions to each of his disciples. And if the disciple executes the order of the spiritual master, that is the way of his perfection. So that is exactly what Srila Prabhupada was saying in today's verse. The that's actually the following the orders of the spiritual master is actually the secret of success. Yeah. So I'll stop here. Are there any questions and comments? Yes, Maharaj.
Thank you for a nice class, Prabhu. Certainly very entertaining, the story of Dhruva Maharaj, and very enlightening as well. But my question is this, is that you said that Narada Muni gave him certain instructions, but I don't think that you told us what those instructions were, and they are listed in the book.
Yes,
if
yes.
you remember them, kindly tell us them.
Oh,
that we can, not that we're going to exactly follow them, but it's good to know what he went through in order to achieve the great goal of the Supreme Lord appearing before him and giving him some nice prayers, etc., etc.
Right.
Would you please?
Oh, sure. First of all, Narada Muni gave instruction to Dhruva Maharaj that he should practice Ashtanga Yoga. Yeah. And after practicing Ashtanga Yoga, he, get, control of the mind.
You have to tell us what Ashtanga Yoga is. We don't all know that.
Ashtanga Yoga. And then meditate.
Everybody doesn't know that.
Yeah.
What is Ashtanga Yoga?
Ashtanga is eightfold mystical yoga system.
Yeah, and what does that mean, eightfold?
Yam, niyamam, this pranayam, like that, essentially.
Not like that. Let's hear the 8.
There are 8.
Yeah, come on, you got 4. Let's go for another 4. Yeah, I mean, when we use these terms, we can't just throw them out. If you don't understand them or know them, no one is going to fully understand you because you're uncertain, okay? So if you don't know them, that's okay. You can say, well, I don't know them. Okay, fine. On to the next. It's not a sin to not know something, but it's a sin to pretend that you know something.
Thank you, Maharaj. Okay. So this eightfold yoga system, and then Narada Muni instruct Dhruva Maharaj that he should chant a mantra. Actually, Narada Muni initiate Dhruva Maharaj by giving a special mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Haribol.
Yeah, so Dhruva Maharaj, he was chanting that. And then Narada Muni instruct Dhruva Maharaj that he should worship the deity also. Yeah. Of course, in the forest, it might be difficult to attain deities made of metal or marble, but it is said in the fourth canto that you can make the deities by using the earth and water, mix earth and water, and make a deities like that and worship. Yeah, so deity worship, and then Narada Muni instruct Dhruva Maharaj that he should also follow the footsteps of great devotees. Yeah, those are some kind instructions, Narada Muni was given to Dhruva Maharaj. Yeah, the detailed instructions is in the fourth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It starts from text number, chapter A, text number 43 start. Yeah, you can see the detail. Yeah. You want me to read some, Maharaj?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, unless you tell us.
But it's quite long.
Just give me a reference. Reference doesn't mean anything to me.
Oh, yeah.
You might as well not give it if you don't know it.
The detailed instruction that Narada Muni was given to Dhruva Maharaj is actually in the fourth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter A, start from text number 43 to 44.
Then don't mention it then.
That's what I have already summarized. Yeah, I have already summarized those. Right. I have already summarized those instructions. Yeah, that first of all he has to practice Ashtanga Yoga, and then chant the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and then he should worship the deities, and then he should, following the footsteps of great devotees.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank
those
you.
4 main things.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we will stop here. Gantraj Shima Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you for inspiration.